Ricky, you played a whole career in college football and just one NFL game so far. What is the difference between trying to beat man coverage in the SEC versus what you saw today?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference. Obviously, like the NFL is just the best of the best, so there's that difference. But I still think it's similar techniques to beat a DB at the end of the day, and I got to stick to those techniques and keep working on it, keep getting better at it.
Ricky, just to be here today.
Get out to the football field today, given what happened to you.
Yeah, it meant everything. Obviously, all the adversity I just went through these past month. It was really good to go out there with my guys again. I think that's the refresher for me at the end of the day. When the incident first happened, the first thing I was thinking about was the guys in this locker room, the coaches in the locker room, the entire staff, and they did a really good job of rallying around me, making sure I stayed up, and it was a huge blessing for me today. Yeah.
At what point when that did happen to you, did you realize that you'd be able to play football again?
They told me in the hospital when I was still asking that question over and over again. So that was a common question coming out of my mouth when I was in the hospital bed. But they ended up telling me after they seen the X-rays and the CAT scans of the direction of the bullet path, and then as well as there was some nerve stuff that I had to make sure I was good on. So that's why I had to stay overnight. But after that next morning is when the doctor came in and told me I would be good to play football again. That was my first question.
Ricky, what was the biggest hurdle that you had to clear, 2 months ago through that process to get back on the field today?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest hurdle for me was just recovery from the wound. There was obviously a lot of scar tissue buildup in the area, and since it was in my chest, all in like under my armpit, and obviously it was through and through, so there was a buildup all the way from my chest to my back. So just working through that, making sure I'm getting that all worked on and getting that scar tissue out. And once I started feeling better range of motion and pain tolerance wise, and that's when I was headed to the right direction to practice and train.
Was there an emotional hurdle as well?
Yeah, I think there was slightly. Obviously for the first few days after that, it's pretty brutal. But I got a lot of good people around me. I got a lot of good family members, strong foundation, a lot of good people in this locker room. Part of the staff and this organization did a great job. Like I said earlier, rallying around me, but just putting resources in my direction to use, and I think that helped me get through that a lot.
Ricky, when you say you didn't know for sure until the next morning about your football career, I'm sure part of you was like, you're alive. But was that a tough night of sleep for you? Still not knowing?
Yeah, for sure. That was obviously my first thoughts through the whole incident was, if I was going to be alive or not, and that was the first thing I was thinking of, and making sure, that I got in contact with my family members. But once I knew I was going to be okay, and I was going to be able to live, the next question came, was I going to be able to play football now? And as soon as I got that answer, a light just grew inside of me, and I was super excited to hear that from the doctor. So
I think Blanchard,
You find out that you will be able to play football, and then you've been told that maybe you'll be able to make your debut in week 4, then 8 comes 5 and 6, maybe you get to week 7, and you make your debut against the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. What were you kind of thinking about going into this outside of the loss? How did that kind of build up your motivation or excitement to get out there and play?
yeah, there was a tremendous motivation for me, after that incident. Obviously when you go through some adversity like that, it only makes you stronger at the end of the day. So just having that along me, and then obviously having that presence of God with me through those moments. There was a lot of signs that He was giving to me throughout that time, and that's a whole separate story. But there was a lot of excitement leading up to those weeks. Obviously I didn't play week 4, and that was something I really wanted to do, just because that was the minimum of coming back. And I just knew I wasn't ready leading up to that week. After some of the workouts, I just still felt a lot of that scar tissue build up in there, and a lot of pain, and range of motion. Obviously the pain was probably like the last on the ladder for it, but as far as like range of motion, because I kind of need that being a receiver. So after that was all clear, that's when we started looking towards this week, and I just felt like it was scripted, for me, just going into a week like this, playing a really good team like this, and having the opportunity to step on that field again.
When do you think your first completion?
Brandon right now, but with the very real possibility that he's out, how much urgency do you feel to really kind of pick up the pace and get going, an opportunity like that?
Yeah, right now I'm not feeling like much urgency, as you would say. It's more of, you know, just making sure that I reach out to my guy. You know, that's still my brother at the end of the day. You know, it's for me, it's much bigger than football. You know, he's going through something right now, and I'm making sure I show that my love for him and sending prayers his way, and checking on that guy because you know he's a really good buddy of mine. So, but you know, in this game he went down, and I had to play more than expected, and really everybody expected. But you know, I just try to make the most of my opportunities.
Ricky,
Ricky,
you
you
played
make your first
football your
complete-
whole life. Was there a point today where, when you got out there, was it different? And when did it start to feel natural today?
Yeah, it felt different just because all the build up around it. You know, just from training camp, missing most of that, and then obviously going through this entire incident. I just felt like there was a different build up towards that than I was used to. You know, I never missed a game in college in my entire college career, so I never really had that. Sitting on the sideline and watching the games was a little different for me. So, it felt a little different. But once I got on the field, I put my helmet on, my cleats on, I was running around with the guys, and I just like this is like still football at the end of the day. And that's kind of when I felt natural. And then, especially after my first catch, I made sure I had to secure that, and then after that, everything went away. So.
Ricky, I think Lynch or Shanahan said like in the hospital, maybe it was Lynch, said in the hospital, they're like, I'd like to play in week 1. I mean, was that, you explain what your mindset was at that time?
Yeah, that was that was after they looked at the X-rays and they let people start coming into the room, and John was one of the first people to come in, and I was super happy to see him. That's probably when I broke down in tears when I saw him, just because it hit a little different, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to play, week 1, and I was super excited. Obviously, I was missing a lot of training camp too, so I was really looking forward to that opportunity. I was super excited, and just the way it went down, it made me a little bit emotional. But seeing him there, that's when it all hit. But yeah.
Ricky, has this whole thing had an impact on your perspective, how you view your career and your life? I mean, it's a pretty emotional thing. Has it changed your perspective?
Yeah, I feel like I've always had a pretty good perspective, just due to being raised the right way and having a good foundation to have a good family, my parents, sisters, those people that being around me. I just learned those morals and values growing up. But as far as this incident, yeah, it definitely shook me in a different way. That every day is not promised. You know what I mean? And you just gotta expand on everything you can.
Hey Ricky, physically, just how do you feel playing your first football game with all that?
Yeah, physically I feel great. I feel like I could play another game right now.
Lindsay, last one.
Ricky, Levi Stadium got really loud after you made that first completion. How much of that moment did you get to take in?
Yeah, obviously I'm in the moment. I'm trying to, we're trying to get some first downs and move the ball and go score and put some points up. So, but then after that catch, and my teammates were dabbing me up and saying that they're happy for me and proud of me, and that's kind of when it all hit. The crowd got a little loud right there, and I just took the opportunity to be appreciative of everything that led up to that and all the blessings that came along with it.
All right, guys.